going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. We are back with our SEMA built 2011 Ford Mustang GT. It's been converted into a carbon fiber monster. I got a couple things to show you, and we got several boxes of things we need to put on this, so let's jump into this right away. So if you missed the video, this is it, the Pro-Charged SEMA built Mustang GT. There's some things about it that I just don't like, and there's some things that need to be addressed. Number one, under the hood, there's a couple issues that definitely have to get addressed sooner rather than later. Number one, the clutch. Really, there isn't much of a clutch to speak of at the moment, because there's air in the lines. So we've got to build a custom tool that costs all of about $3 so that we can try to vacuum bleed this reservoir, which is shared with the slave cylinder. The Pro-Charger, it's due for an oil change. I talked to Pro-Charger, and Pro-Charger said they might possibly be interested in doing a collaboration where I could bring this car up to them and they could do a custom tune on it. So that'd be a lot of fun. We'd obviously have to drive it out to California. They said right now they're too busy to do anything with it, though, because they're focusing on, well, they just got done with SEMA, and they've been focusing on the C8 Corvette. That's the new hot commodity item at the moment. So we will go in here and change this oil. There's a dipstick right here. Oil drain is at the bottom. If you'll notice, it's in the garage. I said before, we couldn't get it in here. Wouldn't fit. Well, it fits now. I didn't have a problem getting it in here at all, but you'll probably also notice before, these wheels were tucked into the fender. I mean, you couldn't put anything in here. These things were tucked up under the fender. Well, I found out this car's got coilovers. Unfortunately, I didn't have a tool to raise the car up off the ground. So I ended up using a pipe wrench. Monkey Wrench Mike was out here with me, and him and I spent probably about a good hour or so with a pipe wrench getting this thing up off the ground, so that we actually had a little bit of clearance. Unfortunately, to get it this high off the ground required bringing that plate almost all the way to the top. I'm not a big fan of that. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is these headlights right here. I just don't like them. They look cool, but functionality-wise, they're really not that good. So I've got some components, guys. I've got some, is it petters? I got some petters, shocks, petters, struts and springs, mounts, bump stops, everything from petters. I've also got a Scavenger X-pipe from Flowmaster, all from AmericanMuscle.com. That's right. So we're gonna drop the rear axle down. We're gonna put new springs in it, new rear shocks. We're gonna take the coilovers out of the front, put the new petters, struts in the front, and we'll have a nice even. It may be a little higher than you guys would like, but I want a car that's actually able to be driven daily. So that's the direction. I was about $900 for the shock, struts, and springs. The X-pipe was about $350. So why don't we fire this thing up real quick? It's been sitting here for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it hasn't been started at all. Let's make sure it still wants to run. And speaking of things I don't like, these seats, and I have been having a very difficult time finding the seats that I want to put in this. I don't want to just throw some factory crappy seats in. I want some good ones. They at least have to be black leather. And what I found is some Stage 3 Roushes. Unfortunately, it comes with the back seat too, and it's leather with Alcantara, and they are beautiful seats. Unfortunately, they're $1,000. With shipping, it comes out to $1,300, guys. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for all I need is 2 front seats. It's a lot of money for 2 front seats. We also got to put TPMS sensors in this. There's a lot to do. Does she have gas? She does. Let's fire it up. Oh, man, she sounds good. She does. She sounds good. I know. You shouldn't rev it up like that, especially after sitting for weeks. I can't help it, though. Listen to this. That's a thing of beauty right there. That's a thing of beauty. That Pro-Charger is just singing. Listen to her song. All right. I think we can shut it off. I just wanted to make sure she was still going to run with no issues. I think I might pull it forward just a hair. I can't go too much further forward, but we'll bring it forward just a little bit. Let's get this thing up in the air. Should we start with the front or the back? You guys comment below. All right. Well, I took some befores, and after we changed these shocks and springs and struts and everything, we'll do it after. Unfortunately, this car did not come with the key. Thankfully, I got this trusty master key set, Matic lug nut master key set, and this thing has been invaluable because, well, as it turns out, this fits perfectly. This is a CRV 41/64. Now you know how to steal my wheels. These lug nuts look a little distressed. I think we're going to need a new set of lug nuts at some point. But anyway, we got our big daddy out today, and this should make pretty quick work of getting these things off. Yeah, okay. 4 more, we can get this wheel off. And just like that, the lugs are up. But look at this, the acorns, the pieces on the top, I guess I should say, are they're splitting. They're coming right off. These are absolutely gonna have to be replaced. How heavy are these forged wheels? Let's see. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, wow. That's heavy. 26th week of 2020. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, if I remember correctly. Yes, Pilot Sport 4S's, Michelin Total Performance. Look at the size of these rotors and calipers. Holy crap. Okay, as you can see, I'll get my trusty light down here, and you can see I had to get in here with that pipe wrench, and look how high. I mean, these coilovers all the way to the top, guys, which means it's going to ride like absolute crap. So what I'm going to do right now, it's got a camber plate in there too. How about that? Very nice. I don't think we're going to need that anymore. And what am I going to do with these? Because obviously this stuff is still like new. It can't have any more than 10,000 miles on it. I don't know. Maybe I'll sell it. I'm not sure. You've got greasable sway bar bushings. This is all from Steeda. And if you're wondering what this hose is, some of you already know. That's right. That is a hose that comes from the front of the bumper here and allows you to force feed cool air onto these massive, look how thick this is. I mean, this is truly, these rotors are absolutely insane. Insane. So we got a couple things we got to do here on the bottom side. Number one, we got to take off this bolt for the sway bar in link. And what else we got down here? We should have a couple bolts at the bottom. We'll need to pry off this little wire right here for the ABS speed sensor. And then those 2 bolts come out. That comes out. Then we can move up to the top. And that's it. It's that easy. Of course, we probably should find some way of supporting our caliper. We should probably take the caliper off and hang it somewhere. I don't know. What do you guys think? Take the caliper off, or screw it, let's have fun and leave it on there. It's got braided steel brake lines too. Wow, they were not screwing around on this one. All right, I'm going to start with this hose right here for the brake cooling. One flathead, moves that out of the way, and take a look at these tie rod ends. Ooh, those are fancy. There's a lot of spacers in there. I do wonder if by bringing it back more to a stock height, if that's going to be a problem. I don't think we need to take the caliper off. I could be wrong, but I don't see why we would, guys. This is going to stay attached to the hub. The hub stays attached by the ball joint. For the life of me, I can't think of any reason why we'd absolutely have to take off the caliper. But I might find out here in a minute I'm wrong. We're going to hit this with a, what is it, an 18 mil. Oh, and it's going to spin. Well, isn't that just the way it goes, right? She's going to spin on us. She sure is. Fun times. Can anybody tell me what you do when the sucker's spinning like this? What are you going to do to get this off, man? I mean, you could get behind it, right, with some vice grips. You could ruin the boot and just clamp that sucker down. Then you'd have to replace it. Or you could take a 18 millimeter wrench, All right. Get you an 8 mil for this particular application. Now, instinct's going to tell you you want to reverse. No, no, no. You need to turn it righty-tighty for this, all right? And I'm going to need both hands, aren't I? It's not going to let me get away with this. Bingo. Bingo. Just like that. You didn't damage anything, and it'll probably have to go back together this way as well. So even though, well, that's a little on the loose side. Hell, I didn't even realize that. Look at that. It's got a bolt right on the back side of it to hold it in. So, I mean, you could have done it that way too. I'm going to move that out of the way just so I don't lose anything. I'll put the nut back on that bolt, and we'll come over here, and we can hit these. We'll start with the lower one. There's one. Come over to this side, we'll take it off. You don't need to put a wrench on this side because I got these little, I don't know what the hell you call it, but it's got these little tabs at the end here that hold them so you can loosen them and tighten them without breaking anything. Of course, you'll probably need to tap on that a little bit to get it out, or sometimes you can just hit it. No. No, she's not going to come out that easy. Next. This one might. This one might. Bingo. Easy as pie. There's the top one. Now, of course, we're going to have to get alignment after this is done, which that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully we don't damage this ball joint. With the weight of this rotor and the weight of this caliper, we're going to have to be very careful when taking this strut assembly out not to put too much weight on that lower ball joint. I'm going to get this last bolt out here, I think, and then we can move to the top, and we'll be ready to pull this baby out. All right, I have, as gently as possible, laid this down. I also forgot there's a 10 mil right here on the back of the shock, or the strut, I should say. So we definitely want to keep as much tension off of this as possible, although this is a braided steel brake line, so this will probably be just fine. And as far as the weight on the ball joint, I just gently laid it to the side. It's sitting just fine on its own. So let's drop this car down, raise the hood, and let's get this strut assembly out and the new one in. You would never believe what I just did. Never. Even I can't believe what I just did. I made the mistake of taking the wheel and tire from here, and I set it right here. I leaned it up against this post on my lift, and then I forgot about it. So as I went around the corner and dropped the lift down, a couple things happened. Number one, the lift refused to go down any further, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what happened. I've never had a problem with this lift before. Then the cable came disconnected. I was going to attempt to raise it up. I figured there must be an obstruction. It wouldn't go up because the cable came disconnected. So I decided to go walk around the lift and see what happened, when I quickly realized that tire and wheel was pinched hardcore underneath this, and there was a ton of pressure building, and you could just hear it going creak, 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 at which point I moved the F out of the way. You know what happened then? The tire shot out. I'm not making it up. The tire shot out with the rim from under. It didn't puncture the tire, but it shot out from under the lift, flew over here and landed on its backside. Thank God it did not land on the face, or it would have torn this wheel up. But I moved it over here. Thankfully, it's still full of air. It doesn't look like it did any damage to anything, but oh. Well, I think that was just a rock. That was just a rock. I don't know. Anyway, if you've got a 2 or 4 post lift, never, ever, 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 ever sit anything where it could get in the way of the lift coming down. Now, we're going to come up here, and we're going to handle this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this strut bar off. This is a 15. All right, and we'll move to the other side. We'll go ahead and pull those two nuts off as well and remove the strut bar temporarily. All right. Can we pull this off? Oh boy. Ugh. Well, she's on there, ain't she? So I guess what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll loosen that just a hair. Let's come over here, see if we can do this without falling. We'll loosen these. All right. Now, she still will not come off. That sucker's got her held in tight, guys. Come on, let it go. She don't want to let go. She's hung up right there. Give me a minute, I'll figure it out. All right, I got her. I had to break out the big old pry bar, but eventually she came loose. Hopefully she'll come off on that side too. There we go. Woo, I about knocked the bike over. Good Lord. I'm starting to think maybe I should, in fact, let me move this, guys. I'll sit it right here. I'm starting to feel like maybe I shouldn't be working on nothing tonight. Apparently, I'm not with it. We got 2 bolts there. Super easy. We can just take one off. I'll have to hold it. And, yeah, I don't know how to do this one-handed. So let me see if I can get an assistant to come hold this camera for me real quick. And we'll take this, if I can get it up there enough. We'll get this nut out and follow it down here. And we can just, ta-da! And that, very adjustable, very nice. And the name brand of this is Hyperco. Looks like part number 1810B as in boy 0200. You guys have to tell me, I don't know. Is this a good brand? Is this a cheap off brand? Honestly, ew. That's gross. I don't know. But here's what I do know. If you look at those, you look how skinny these things are, man. Like this is what tells me everything I need to know, right? Hell, these things sit about the same. So here's the difference between these big, what are these, petters? Yeah, petters. Look at the size of the spring, the thickness of the spring. You want to talk about something that's going to ride like it's supposed to. This right here is it. This, I think, is more, it's for show. You know, you can raise it, you can lower it. That's great. And it's adjustable as well. You've got these adjusters for your different types of ride quality that you want. But at the end of the day, personally, I would rather have this big boy. It looks strong and tough rather than having this because it makes my car look cool. All right, let's get this thing in here. I think it's going to look really nice. This red is going to go so good with the Shelby brakes. And we're going to use the new hardware that came with it as well. It can be a little tricky, especially when you're doing this as one person, but it can be done. Just get this sucker up in here and come on, old girl. There we go. Just like that. Should pan it up here. Get you some bolts started. Once you get 2 on there, you're good to go. And I know what you're thinking. Don't put those on because you're going to put that strut bar back on. You're right, typically, but I'm going to leave the strut bar off for a little while. The strut bar gets in the way of my air filter here and doing stuff that I need to do with this. So temporarily, I'm going to leave the strut bar off. I can always put it back on later. It's just 2 bolts. It's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt anything, but get that sucker up in there. And of course, they're going to be a different size than what we used to get them off. So what are those, 13s, 14, something like that. Let's go ahead and start buttoning this back up, just like that. We're almost done with one. We got another one to do after this. And just like that, what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty damn good. I just like the way this thing looks, man. It's bigger, it's beefier. It seems like it's just gonna hold up better over the long term than those other ones, man. We got it all buttoned up. We'll go ahead and throw the wheel back on it, and we can move on to the other side. I don't think I need to show you the other side, guys. It's wash, rinse, repeat. So I guess what I'll do is I'll knock out the other side, and we can come back, to the rear end and get those springs out, the shocks, put the new ones in. All right, we let the front end down, and I'll be quite honest with you, the difference is minimal, but the difference is with the coilovers all the way maxed out to get the car up as high off the ground as we could get it, this actually looks to be just a tad bit lower. I like it. I like it. I know some of you like the cars like on top of the wheels. That's not my thing, you know, to each their own, but that's not me. I want a car that's daily drivable without scraping, bottoming out, and breaking things, all right? So I'm liking the way this front end is sitting. We'll obviously do some before and after pictures just to compare. But here's the rear end. Honestly, the rear end isn't sitting too bad at all. I think one of the things I really don't like, and this is one of those things, some of you are going to love it, some of you are going to hate it. I think the stance is wrong with these wheels. Look how far these wheels stick out. In my opinion, it looks ridiculous. And there are no spacers. It's nothing mechanical with the car. It's the offset of the wheels. And I don't like them. They stick so far out, like, I don't know. I doubt we're going to see much of a difference when we put those new springs on the back. I think what's going to happen is we're going to raise it up, I don't know, maybe half an inch? Hell, maybe even an inch. It may be significant. I don't know. We're just going to have to get this back in the air. Let me move these over to the front tires. We'll get this back into the air. I'll have to use the transmission jack to support the rear differential. This is super easy. Like, the rear springs on these cars are so easy to do, guys. I'm going to show you how easy it is right now. All right, now that we got the back end of the old girl up in the air, we got a lot to do today. I want to get that X-pipe installed, maybe the new headlights, maybe remove that front splitter. I don't know. One thing I do know, this thing's got spacers. How nice is that? I didn't know that it had spacers. Not super big, but, you know, it gives it just a little bit of an extra stance. I also found out we got some QA1 adjustable shocks on the back. Those aren't cheap, guys. They did not put cheap parts on this car. Now, before you do anything, if you're using this as a tutorial video, I highly recommend you don't use any of my videos as a tutorial, okay? I'm just a guy who's got more time on his hands than he really needs. Now, I'm kidding, but make sure you've got something like a transmission jack is what I'm using, and that should work just fine. If you don't have a transmission jack, you can use one of those jacks that have the spinny things, you know, the woo, a pole jack or whatever. That you got to support your pumpkin is what I'm trying to tell you, because if you don't, this thing's going to come crashing down. So just don't do what I'm doing, and you'll be fine. First thing we got to do on both sides, you got your brake lines held on right here with a 10. So we're going to go ahead and zing those off real quick. Bingo. I'm not going to make you guys watch both sides. Pull these out, hang your lines just like this, okay? Nice and loose. Loosey-goosey is the name of the game. We're going to come over here. You got to get your sway bar out of the way because you can't get to this shock bolt right here. I guess you probably could, but we're not going to. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this right here at the top. Just take this top piece out. She's going to drop down. I believe that is a 15. We'll find out for sure. Yep, she's 15. So we're going to swap that out on the ratchet there on the impact. We got the little one. And there that goes. All right. Make sure you got nothing on the back of it that's going to fall out. Remember, it goes in from the outside. There you go. And definitely don't lose that. Now we can go over to the other side, and we got to take that stuff off so we can swing this sway bar or anti-sway bar out from underneath the vehicle. All right, once you got that done, you should be able to, you might need a buddy to help you, but good Lord have mercy. That's a hell of an anti-sway bar. Okay, people are asking me, how's my shoulder? I'm gonna say it's better. It's doing a, oh, that sucker is she means business, guys. All right, obviously the upper mounts to these shock absorbers are going to be inside the trunk. All right, so you have to get inside the trunk to get to those. But right now we're just going to focus on this lower piece right here. And hell, I don't know what size that is, but it's small, maybe a 15 or so. Once we get those off, that should be the only thing holding this rear axle from coming down some. And we'll open this jack up, lower the axle enough to get those springs out. and hopefully we can put the new ones in without any trouble. All right, we got everything disconnected down here, ready to lower the rear axle. I think we have a problem, and this sucks. This is a bad time to have a problem, but you see right there? Do you see any rubber isolators over there? Because I don't, and I am 100% certain there's supposed to be upper and lower isolators, basically rubber that cushions this. Otherwise, she's gonna make a bunch of noise. Joy. All right, well, might as well show you what's gonna happen here. We climb under here very carefully, and we start lowering this jack down just a smidge. We shouldn't have to lower it much. Let me make sure I got you guys in a position where you can see. All right, let's lower this just a hair. That should be good. Be very careful at this point, guys, because there's nothing really holding that rear axle in place. All right, let's see if we can climb under here and grab these springs. They should just slide out truthfully. I don't see any reason why they would. Oh, that's all aluminum? Lovely. Oh, well, come on. Well, there's isolators on the top for sure. We're not down enough. Let me check my brake lines, make sure I'm not stressing anything out. I'm not. We're still good, so we can lower down a little bit more. Let's see how that does. I'll tell you what, if it's this hard to get them out, I can't imagine what's going to be like to get those bigger ones in. Oh, man. There we go. All right. So, again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to ride quality, guys. Yeah, I don't care what anybody tells me. You're not going to convince me that this little thing right here is superior to this. You're just not. You're absolutely not. Take a look. If I can keep this thing from trying to fall over here. There you go. You know, really? No, man. No, you're not going to convince me that that this right here is superior to this sucker right here. We got part of it out. Problem is, there's another part in here you got to get out too. And I don't know what's holding this bad boy on, but I'm assuming maybe there's a bolt dead in the center there that's holding that on. Okay, well, I guess we need to get that off. And I don't know what we're going to do about this because I'm 100% certain there's supposed to be a rubber isolator down there and we do not have it. Well, it just wouldn't be reality if something didn't go wrong and it's 9 o'clock at night and nobody carries the parts that I need for this. Like nobody. At least not the auto parts stores. This means I either have to go through American Muscle, which they say is going to take till like the 15th. It's currently the 10th of November. The 15th is a tad bit too long for me. I'll probably be back in Indiana on the 15th. I got to get this done because now I've got this torn apart. There's really not much more I can do. Really, there is nothing more I could do aside from take out those shock absorbers. Could we install these with no isolator or insulator? I call it an isolator because it isolates the metal of the springs from the metal on top and on bottom, but they actually are called insulators. Yeah, it's an insulator. The good news is these are the factory Ford. These are the uppers. I don't need the uppers. All I need are the lowers. I just need 2 of the lowers. They're like $9 from Ford Parts Direct, but Ford Parts can't even get them to me for about a week. So I guess the only thing I can do is, it is the 10th, which means it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm going to have to get in touch with my local Ford dealerships, and I'm just going to have to ask them and hope somebody's got 2 of them in stock so that we can continue this. I went ahead and jacked up that rear axle, put it back where it should be, and I'm just going to leave everything like it is. It should be very happy in its current position. Like I said, it's reality, man. In the real world, things don't always go according to plan, and we'll come back as soon as we have those lower insulators. All right, guys, it's been 2 days, and it took me 5 hours of driving across Oklahoma. I went almost all the way to Amarillo, Texas, to find this piece, this one piece. It's on permanent back order throughout the country. You cannot get it. It's unobtainium. But one dealership here in Oklahoma had it, and here it is. I needed 2 of them, and here's the other one. They were $16, but if you want, I can't tell you how much I spent on gas to go that far in the TRX. But there's the part number. We've got 2 of them. You got to have them. This is the top piece. I don't need to replace it. It's still good. The bottom piece, the only thing that was holding us up from completing this job, it fits right here. It just sits. Look at that. That's it. Then you put the top piece back up top. Hopefully it just stays in there, and it won't. No, it's not going to stay in there. That's fine. We can just shove it in the spring, and then we'll just shove the spring back up in there, and we can go on to the other side. Then we got to tighten this axle up so it doesn't fall down. And where do we go from there? The upper shock bolts, we got to take those out as well. Then we can swap these. I almost hate swapping out these QA1 shocks. These are very expensive, very nice shocks. But we're doing the whole suspension all at once, so we'll go ahead and change that out as well. Okay, I'm sitting here working. I don't know who these guys are. They just appeared out of nowhere. Kind of like the Wizard, the car wizard, you know, on Car Trek where he just like pops up. These guys just popped up out of, yeah, no, they drove down here because the Honda is going with them.
If it makes it. It'll make it.
No, maybe it won't. You got to keep the suspense.
That'll be the content.
Yeah, you got to keep the suspense.
I believe.
I personally, I've driven way worse cars further distances.
And of course, it's got to be really cold today, and so
Yes.
therefore the back window's not working, but we're just going to turn the heat on blast.
Yeah, it has no back window. And if we can get this thing off the lift, they're going to do a timing belt and anything. Are you doing the water pump or just the belt?
Water pump, but we'll see how it feels. You know,
Yeah.
if it feels like fine, then we want to do it.
Oh, 60,000 miles on it. I mean, what could possibly be wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's got 10,000 miles. It's a brand new car.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing.
Nothing. Anyway, 2 mini projects
There you go.
garage.
Yeah, there you
Joshua's your name. I don't. Colin. Okay, good.
He makes regular appearances.
Okay, he's your monkey wrench Mike,
Pretty much.
or your Santa's workshop.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'd say more close, more closely related even. We're like brothers pretty much. But
Okay.
We're not really brothers.
That means
Okay.
we argue a lot. So.
Yeah,
We argue probably, it's not on the videos, but we argue a lot.
just edit those out.
Yeah, we edit those out.
So we're trying to get this off the lift so they can just drag this thing on here and make life a lot easier. And I'm close to getting this off the lift. And we're not done. I've got a lot more to do to this one, but we're close to getting it off the lift. What we noticed, I went to get to the rear shocks, right? Because it's supposed to be super easy. In a normal Mustang GT, you just peel back the covers that's in here, and they're right there. But this car, I forgot, it's not original. So we had to remove a few pieces. It wasn't too bad, honestly, but it was a bit of a discovery thing. Like, we didn't know where they were. Just they're in there somewhere. We didn't build it. So we don't know what has to come out, but we figured it out. Look in there. Hopefully you can see them. Probably not, but right there.
Tucked away.
Yep. We did consider just leaving the QA1s in there, truthfully. But I thought, you know what? I'd better do it right on this car.
Yeah, 10,000 miles is too much.
Yeah. I had somebody say, yeah, you probably want to get rid of those old worn-out shocks anyway. I was like, the car literally has 10,000 miles on it, so nothing on the car is worn out.
You'd hope.
But if it was, we'd have some serious problems with Ford and the other companies involved. But it's not. It's a good car. We're gonna get down in there with the wrong size. I'm certain that's gonna be a 14. I have a 15. I could walk over to my bench and get a 14, but I don't want to. So we're gonna see if we can get this thing in here and just. Boy, that is a tight fit. Yeah, look at that. 2 bolts at once.
Nuts.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Boy, my subscribers get on to me all the time. It's not a bolt, it's not. It's like, it's whatever, man. Yeah, these are nuts. And we got 2 more to get over there, and I already lost one. I'm pretty sure the new ones come with new hardware anyway, so it shouldn't be.
I feel like they designed the rear so that when you take it apart, all the bolts fall to where you can't get them or nuts.
Yes, and that's all car manufacturers. They all do it this way.
They just fall in some area where you can't even grab them.
And there is some sharpness back here. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, did you catch it?
I might have.
Thank you. I was just going to let the thing crash on the ground, and he saved it.
They're too nice.
I wonder how much those QA1 adjustable shocks cost.
I don't even know.
I really was just going to let it.
Here,
Let's just go let it fall. All right, let's get in here and...
I had to keep it from spinning. It was spinning.
Oops.
Lock them through their tab.
There we go.
She was spinning on us, and I had to go like this to hold
To keep... Come on. I don't want to leave any hardware behind. The last thing you want is to hit bumps and hear things rattling around.
No hardware left behind.
Ow, there is some sharp crap back here. Good Lord. Okay.
All the unfinished cut.
Honestly, I'd rather do the front struts again. Those were a lot more fun. Okay. And we're just about, we're going to put the new shocks on. Look at those new coils back there. Those look really nice. We've got the sway bar bolted back up. All that's left is putting in the shocks, and then hopefully these wheels will fit without the spacers. I got a feeling they put the spacers on because they were probably rubbing. But we're going to try without the spacers, and we'll get this thing off the lift. And when they're done working on this, I'm going to do another video on this, guys, and they're going to have a video on their channel. I'm going to put a link to them down below, so definitely go check them out. By the time this video comes out, theirs is probably already going to be out. So go check this out. We got to get this car on the lift so they can get back to Tulsa. I thought you guys came from Kansas.
Nope.
When you said you would be here in 2 hours, I laughed. I was like, no, you ain't. You ain't gonna be here in 2 hours.
Pretty close.
Yeah, then you're from Tulsa.
Stopped,
yeah.
We got some to 8. We ate Brahms. So.
And I was still late.
That's true. You were. Shame. Just barely.
Just if you're watching this video, just know if we have an appointment, I'm gonna be late for it, and I hope that's the case when I die too. I plan on being very late for my own funeral. All right, let's get these shocks put in here, guys, and let's see if we can get this thing off the lift. I forgot the clutch doesn't like to work. And there it is. I know some of you are going to be in the comments already. You ruined the look of the car, Randy. I can drive it now.
He made it better.
You think I made it better?
I think you made it better.
2 people here think there's 3 people. We all agree.
Exactly.
We all agree. I know everybody wants a car slammed to the ground, man, and that's great. But like realistically, driving it, I couldn't even bring the car in my shop. I haven't even washed. I've had this car, I think, a month and a half, maybe 2 months. It's sat outside in the rain. This is a show car that was put up in a garage, and I've got it sitting outside in the rain because I can't get it on my lift. And it won't come up this incline to get into my shop without scraping the carbon fiber kick panels or rocker panels.
I bet it can now.
I'm hoping that it can. Look, I mean, people are going to... I took off the spacers, and I actually think it looks a lot better. And I don't think it's going to bottom out. I don't.
It looks
yeah.
better without the spacers.
We're close, and I want to thank both of you for helping out. And now, finally, after an hour or hour and a half,
Something like that.
now we can get this off the lift, and we can get their car on here. And I'm not going to film a whole bunch of it because they got their own video that they're going to be coming out with. And I want you guys to go check out their channel and watch that for yourselves. And I'm most interested in the will it run. So I need you to not tell me if you made it. Don't just let me, unless you need help. Like if you need
Randy saved me.
yeah, if you're like, hey man, we are really screwed. I'll grab my trailer and I'll come rescue you guys. But aside from that, like, yeah, I don't want to know. I want to watch the video with everybody else. So stay tuned for that. Thank you to both of them. And it's Too Many Projects Garage. I keep thinking too many cars. I shouldn't have said that.
Both.
I'm gonna yeah.
I have
Anyway.
other projects than cars, but you know,
The link is below the video, so go check them out. Up and coming YouTuber, brand new channel.
We'll try to make it
How many videos
entertaining
you got?
for you.
Three
Three so
videos?
far,
I've
but
watched
hey,
all
I'm
3
gonna-
of them.
I'm gonna get a lot more out.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
So stay tuned for that, and thank you guys for helping me out. I'm going to get this thing out of here so we can get this old thing on the lift. And timing belt, possibly water pump. Definitely timing belt, though. And I'm not a smaller guy, you know, so...
You gotta hang on to the wheel to keep that chair from falling backwards. So.
It's so you don't get
pounds being...
It's so you don't get whiplash. You know, it's got cushion. You know.
Yeah. We're changing them seats. Let's see if it even wants to...
All right, here we go. Let's see. Gotta pump that clutch up.
Really get that. It's cold and you just sat there and revved it up. I did.
Oh, there you go.
Brakes. E-brake.
Hey, well, ooh, a little squeaky. It's just like a backup beeper, you know, beep, beep, beep.
Oh, I got spider webs on my window from it sitting so long.
Oh my gosh.
Wildlife taking over.
Okay, here's the real kicker right here.
See,
See, before the carbon fiber is straight trying to come in here. So we're already better than we were.
Oh yeah, way better.
Is it gonna clear?
Oh yeah,
Not a problem.
front even, I think. Oh, oh yeah, look at that. Doesn't even rub even in the, ooh, that was close. You got close there for a second. Of course I get my crappy car in the view, but oh well.
She runs good.
Not as good as a Mustang. Nice.
And just like magic, we're back. It's been yet another day. This has taken a lot longer than I anticipated, guys. It really has. But here we are. We're back. And we're back under it again. And I'm debating on whether I want to continue with this video or hold off on the rest for another video. And the reason why is because this video has gotten very, very long. I've already edited most of it, and it's like 45 minutes long already. That's bottomed out. That sucks. See, the car was just too damn low. That's what I'm saying. The car was too low. It was bottoming out, going over bumps and stuff. It had to be raised up. It just did. Otherwise, driving this car was going to destroy it. So I don't feel bad about it. I think here's what I'm trying to decide right now. Should we go ahead and remove this splitter? Unfortunately, if we do, it leaves everything under here exposed. Everything will be just wide open. These hoses, everything will be wide open to the elements. And because this is not a factory front bumper, that's yet another problem. It's not a factory front bumper, guys. This is not going to have, I don't think, it will have all of the little holes in it for putting on a factory Ford splash shield underneath, because obviously I would want to put a splash shield back under here to protect everything. So it's a bit of a conundrum. I just don't know what I want to do. And I can't tell, maybe you can. Can I get you guys in there? Can you see? Is that front splitter separate from the lip of the bumper? It should be, but I'm starting to question it. It looks like taking it off consists of a couple screws there. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts. The 2 on that side are missing. It's just hanging. You've got a couple support brackets here, a couple support brackets here holding it on, keeping it stable. But after that, I think it comes off. And then, of course, we really do want to get to swapping out this H-pipe, this factory H-pipe, with an X-pipe that we picked up. I think that's going to help it sound a little bit better, too. If you guys have any links, any ideas where I can get catless downpipes for this, please drop a link in the description below. I would love to get rid of these. I can't find any from all the sites that I typically use. They're just not there. I decided I can't help it. I gotta try, man. We're gonna try to take these 2 out. Ooh, those have been bottomed out too. So those are damaged. Great. Yeah, those are all of this. That one right there is totally screwed. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That one will turn. This one's damaged. But I could get that one to turn too. If I could get these to turn, nah, I mean, it's too smashed up. It's too smashed up. This thing is just, I feel so bad. I'm not the only one that damaged it though, guys. I mean, I did a little bit of it myself, but it also came a little bit damaged as well. Are you ready to find out if it's one piece that's adhered to the bumper or if it's 2 pieces? Why don't we find out? I gotta sit this on my head and see if we can, this is gonna be, uh-oh. None of this sounds particularly good, guys. Oh boy. Well, hot damn. Ha ha! Yeah. Oh. Sorry that I turned you sideways for a minute. Oh, what a thing of beauty this is, or should I say was. Very sad that it came apart. Turned out it was the 2 bolts on the sides, and then you had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all around the perimeter once you got all those out. And then these were like little adjusters. Those things were bare. I tore my arm up getting in there, but I got it done. That's the point. This could use a little more support for sure, but it does have holes in it, so other than these are aftermarket drills. But this does have holes in it. It looks like you could put the factory splash shield, which would probably go there and then screw in here, here, and here. So that's good news. We'll have to look for a factory splash shield. You got to get these off too, these stupid little brackets that are in here that we're holding that up. You got access to the intercooler now, the charge pipes. You can see everything nice and clean. Very nice, very nice. There's that blow-off valve by Pro Charger. Probably about time to clean that filter. You can see the bumper a little better. And there's where your factory splash shield would mount up under here too. Very nice, very nice. Most of the original stuff has been maintained. This is where we're gonna change our Pro Charger oil right here. When we eventually get around to it. I don't think we're gonna get to it in this video. I think, honestly, I think where we're at now, we're done. Tell me what you think of the car without the splitter. I know it definitely takes away from the look. That splitter made the front of the car look a whole lot more aggressive, but it also got caught on everything. Even with it raised up again, it was still slightly catching when I would back out of the shop. I don't want to destroy any of the parts of this car. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to get rid of any of this stuff. I can keep it, and I guess if somebody ever wanted to put it all back together, they could. If we could ever find a carbon fiber specialist that would be interested in putting this back together. This is easy to reinstall. That's the main thing. Super easy to reinstall if we could get it fixed to make it look right. Then when we take it to car shows and stuff, you just slap it back on and down the road you go. Personally, even though I think it did take a little bit away from the look of the car, I think the car still looks super, super nice. And without the broken pieces on the front, I think it looks a whole lot better. We're definitely going to still have to get those headlights changed. I definitely want to address the those vents there with the wood screws or something going through those, and the white chipped paint. I'd like to repaint those black, so if those come out somehow, I hope that these, nope, those sure don't come out, I guess. I'd like to find a way of maybe taping this off and just painting that. This doesn't look so bad, and painting that as well, that would be nice. But this bumper is nice and sturdy. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. The grill looks like it needs to be reattached at a couple places right there and right there, just to make sure it doesn't ever come out. I think I'm going to call it for the video, guys. I would love to do this X-pipe. I wonder if this will, does this fit even? Oh, yeah. Clears it nicely. I'd love to do the X-pipe in this video, but truthfully, by now the video is probably an hour long, and that's enough. We will come back, though, in the next video. Don't worry. We're going to do the X-pipe. If we're lucky, and you guys leave me a link for these catless downpipes, if you can find. I don't want headers. I do not. I want to stress that. I don't want headers, no long tubes. I love the factory manifolds that are on this. I just want downpipes that'll go to my new X-pipe and run out the back. Because the X-pipe is 3-inch, and all of this from MagnaFlow back here, I guess this would be like axle back. These are 3-inch as well. So it'd be great if we had some 3-inch downpipes for this bad boy. That would just be awesome. But I think we're going to call it for this video, guys. We got quite a bit done. There's still a lot to do. When we come back in the next video, we'll address changing the supercharger oil. We'll probably go ahead and change the oil and filter on this while we're at it. Don't forget, we still need to bleed the clutch. We're doing all this work. We don't even know if the clutch is going to come back to life. If not, we're going to have to pull the transmission, I guess, and figure it out. While we're in there, might as well upgrade the clutch and the slave cylinder and all that stuff at the same time. We'll get those headlights replaced. There is still a lot of work to do. We're nowhere near done. And I got a set of new seats for it. I paid $1,400 after taxes and after shipping for a set of Roush Stage 3 leather with Alcantara seats. I think they're the appropriate seats to go with this car. I could have gone a lot cheaper, and I wanted to, but everything in me said, don't cheap out on this car, man. Even though I'll probably never get my money back, that's not the point. The car is a great car with low miles. It's part of history, and it deserves to be treated appropriately. I do want to daily drive it. I want to tint the windows, but the seats, like, come on, man. We got to get the airbags working. That's important. Safety is very important. So we want to get the airbags working. Hopefully that'll take care of it. And we want seats that are going to be safe and solid. And I think those Roush Stage 3 seats are going to be absolutely perfect for this car. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. This car has not been very popular on my channel. And I'm really surprised because I am probably more excited about this car than I've been about most of them that I've had on the channel. This thing to me is, it's amazing. It's an amazing car. It's an awesome car. And I can't wait to put my touches on it, make it the way I want it, and be able to take it out and enjoy it. And by the time we get done with all that, it'll probably be time to sell it. I'm going to try to keep it. I really am. I mean it this time. I know you don't believe me, but I really do. I mean it this time. I really want to keep this car. And again, I'm sinking more money into it than it's probably ultimately worth, but I don't care. I enjoy doing it. I hoped that the videos would do better. Maybe this one will, maybe not. Either way, I'm going to keep pumping out videos on I'm calling it the SEMA Mustang. That's what, I don't know what else to call it, but that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the SEMA Mustang, the Race Skins Pro Charged SEMA Mustang. We're going to continue pumping out videos on this, and if you like them, hit the thumbs up button, share them with your friends, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, Auto Auction Rebuilds, direct link down below this video. Till next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.